He's known as a truly motivational individual, a force of inspiration and creativity. Dwayne Nosworthy is a life coach and 1/3 of the incredible Dad's a Ross podcast. Dwayne's mantra is me first, but not me only, and believes that we should be selfish for selfless reasons. He excels in a multitude of disciplines. He's by no means an ordinary dad. He's a dancer, a singer, a master of choreography, a skilled actor, and an all-round creative powerhouse. Today we delve into a topic close to my heart, exploring the profound and influential relationships between a father and his daughter. From those cherished moments of playtime to those heart-to-heart conversations, fathers play a critical role in shaping the self-esteem, confidence, and well-being of their daughters. It's a journey filled with lessons, love, and laughter. Join us while we explore.
Me, I would always bring her up, letting her know that I love her, and that never changes. So even if I don't like your behaviour, the love never ever goes anywhere.
Dwayne, how are you?
Hi, why? Well, I know you as so many different names, innit, don't?
Yes.
So there's Kat, there's Kitty, there's Trina, but beautiful soul. We've been friends for a very long time, and I'm honoured to be here, man.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy, very vigil schedule.
Yes, with my tea.
Yes, in the Honestly Speaking mug. So it's been some time. We've been trying to get this conversation going for nearly a year.
Wow, has it
been
been that
about
long?
a year. I was scrolling.
No way.
Yes, scrolling.
Oh, man, I'm not that busy though, so I don't know how.
You went Jamaica. You went.
I did go Jamaica.
Is it Thailand? You went?
I went Philippines.
Yeah, the whole time. We've been trying. Yeah.
That's true. I had a good time though.
It was a good time.
I lived my best life.
I was preying on the gram from my house.
Of course.
From my house. So today, I wanted to get you in to talk about parenting, primarily, but actually parenting your daughter.
Right.
So you're a father of
well, 3 kids, but 1 daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got twin boys as well.
Twin boys. Is there a difference between parenting boys and girls?
100,000%.
What's the main difference?
Okay. The difference with girls is that, and boys, with girls, they tend to, I don't mean raise themselves, because they obviously don't, but they tend to get to know things and mature quicker than boys. With girls, it's like you'll find that there's things that you don't necessarily have to teach them. They pick up. And there are things that you do need to teach them, but in terms of general things in life, they tend to just pick up these skills. From you give them the tools, and you say to them, this is what I'm doing, they tend to be able to watch you and pick it up. With boys, you have to physically show them. You have to physically show them with fiddle.
Right.
If you do not show them what to do, they will not choose to do it.
Yeah.
And the only thing they will choose to do is what they want to do.
Yeah.
Whereas girls, even if they don't want to do it, they will naturally, organically, and automatically still do it. Like my daughter will wake up naturally, organically one day and decide she wants to clean the house. I'm not saying that it's a woman's place to clean the house. Don't take this. Please, I don't need the drama. Don't cancel me. Yeah?
No, cancel.
I'm just saying, naturally, if she feels to do something that, as a parent, you might have to give a chore to do. The boys will never choose to clean.
No.
Never choose to wash a dish.
No.
Never choose to do something domesticated or something that is necessarily needed to be done in the household. Like, how does this get done? How do bills get paid? Boys have to teach them. Yeah. Again, no, see, naturally, boys will know how to provide and protect. Naturally, but they don't know that at a young age. Because they don't need to do it because it's been done for them.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas caring and nurturing is kind of a feminine thing, a female thing. And just from young, girls get that.
Yeah.
They understand what that looks like, what that means, and they just naturally have it. Whereas boys, their kind of provide and protective nature doesn't kick in until that's necessary.
Yeah.
So even if it's young, it would have to be an incident take place for a boy to step into that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like, say, caring and nurturing, because although boys do have a caring and nurturing bone in their body, of course they do, they don't naturally go that way. The same way girls and women have a provide and protective nature in their body, they don't naturally go that way. So I find the difference with girls and boys is that girls will naturally do what's needed and necessary in the household or just in general in life. And boys won't do it unless you teach them. They just won't.
I've seen it. I've seen it in my household.
They will know how to do it with football and computer. Whatever they're interested in, they listen, they will break it down to you. Dad, I think what it is, give me your phone, Dad. Let me put it. They know what's going on. But I asked them to go get a cup from where they get cups from all the time in order to make their own drink.
Where is that?
Where is the cup? They say to me. Dad, where's the glass? Can I get a drink, please, son? How much do you want? Big man, are you all right? Just do that. Where's my daughter? There's just no, it's easy.
I know.
Just simple things, everyday things, easy with my daughter. Sons, simple everyday tasks.
Step by step.
God, my God.
Instructions.
And they've forgotten those instructions the next time they have to do it.
Purposely.
You know what? I don't think it's on purpose.
Think it's purpose.
I swear to you, I don't think it's on purpose. And I tell you why I know it's not on purpose. Because I was once that boy.
You was that boy?
I was once that boy.
And you was allowed to get away with that?
No, there was a difference. I was never allowed. That's what I'm saying to you, weren't on purpose. Because my mother would have cut straight. Yeah? So there was no room to get away with that. You understand? Like, my mum still does things for me now as a big man. If I go and stay at my mum's house, my mum's going to do those things that she would have done for me when I was young. In fact, she should do more for me now. Yeah. Because I'm still her baby boy, even though I'm no longer a baby boy.
One son?
One son.
Okay.
One picking in me.
Okay.
So it's not just one son.
He wants to do it.
Listen, my mum would do anything for me. I adore my mother. But I also have to remind her that I can do these things myself. And I have been for a very long time.
Yeah, because I'm my mum now.
Because, yes. Yeah. But there were things my mum had to make me do and put in place, which is different from my boys because my dad wasn't in the household. Although I've got a very
that's a whole other conversation. We can't even delve into that today.
Close relationship with my dad. He wasn't in the household, whereas I still am in the household with my children.
That's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing.
Changing the generational.
Yeah, it's just like regardless of the relationship between myself and their mum, like we have a beautiful dynamic and relationship with each other. And we choose to ensure that that relationship and that family dynamic doesn't get tarnished.
Because of the adult relationship.
Because of the adult relationship, because of the romantic or blah, blah. Like none of them things matter. That's a different topic. But in terms of us, our priority is ourselves and our family dynamic.
That's a beautiful thing.
You understand?
That's so grown.
Well, it's grown.
Yes.
I'm 44 now.
But you know, some people are grown, but they're not really grown.
Yeah, well,
they're grown on paper.
On paper.
Yes.
Very true. Very true.
Not in a real life.
Yeah, and you know what? I think experience plays a big part, but not only the experience, how you handle and deal with the experience plays a massive part into your maturity. And how you can deal with, because emotional intelligence is something we all need. And that's something I really work towards in terms of my kids. Do you know what I mean? Being emotionally intelligent and privy. Do you know what I mean? Like understanding what's going on. With the boys, it's different to the girls.
So back to your daughter.
Yes.
Can you think of an instance where you've had an incident with your daughter where you've had to think about what you were actually going to do to respond? A challenging scenario where you've had to pause.
Challenges. Do you know what? I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to my daughter in particular, she hasn't really been that big of an issue for me. I have to be real. I know that definitely stems from myself and her mother being the leading example of what, do you know what I mean? Life is. Like we do our best to listen, to learn, to change, grow and evolve. So we do our best to really, like, what's the issue? Talk to me about that issue and then we'll find a solution. So anything that's an issue, we don't focus on the issue. We focus on the solution. We focus on what can we do in order to be of benefit? What can we do in order to sort out this situation? One of the biggest challenges we ever went through was colic. But she was a baby.
Yeah.
That's not her fault.
No.
But it was a challenging time. You asked me what was a challenging time. That was very challenging. But for me, I personally think that every opportunity with my daughter has been like an opportunity to listen, learn, change, grow and evolve. It's a living learning experience. Do you understand? So the challenges to me they are challenging, but I don't take the challenges personally. I deal with those challenges accordingly. So what do I need? Who do I need to be in this moment in order to deal with this challenge?
Right.
And I access that. I go into myself and I access what that means as a man, as a father, and I do what needs to be done. So there hasn't been anything specifically challenging, but anything that is challenging, I do what needs to be done in order to deal with that situation.
I've got to be real and honest, yeah? I've had more challenging moments with, say, my other children, meaning my nieces, yeah? Because we're speaking about girls. I've had more challenging experiences with my nieces, even though they don't know how Uncle D's stay, right? And my nephews,
Uncle D, you know.
yeah, than my own children, in that sense, just in that sense, because they helped me become a better parent.
Right, so you got to trial.
I got to trial and try it out with there's a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? My eldest sister in particular has 6 kids.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's a proper woman, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
a real mum.
A real mum.
I would even say mama.
She's a mama.
Yes.
And the thing is, I love my sister. Shout out to my sister, Ebony. Big sis. But yeah, I just call her sister. All my sisters get called sister. When I talk to them, I just say, yes, sister. Well, I'll go on, sister.
I love that.
Yeah, they get called sister. It's not even sis. They still get called sis, obviously, because man's from Brixton and that. You know what I mean? So sis has to come out. But in terms of when I'm speaking to my sisters, my biological sisters in particular, it's sister because they're my queens, innit? They're my beautiful, they're the example of women in my life as well, other examples. So getting back to answer the question, my daughter hasn't fully tested me yet.
Don't do it.
She, like in that sense, she has not fully tested me, whereby I've had to, let me think if there's been anything. I feel like something may happen at school, but it's not necessarily that she's done. I just have to be aware of how I go into this, how I speak to her, and then how I address her mother, and how I then address the school, how I address other children involved. But in terms of my daughter, I've got to be real. She's never fully tested me in that way yet.
Don't do it.
She's been a good girl.
I like that.
I've got to be real. She's been a good girl. My sons haven't been overly bad either. They're just boys. But none of my kids they haven't tested. I tested my mum more than my sons test me.
Right.
And my daughter. She's pretty good. She gets it. But from young, I had that. Like I tell you where I really learned something about myself. I used to tell my daughter to suck it up whenever she cried. Right. And I learned later on when we had the twins that I can't do that anymore.
Right. What changed? What did you learn?
Because what I was teaching my daughter was to just suck up her emotions.
And not let it play out.
Right. And now, the moment I speak to my daughter, even she's turning 16 tomorrow, the moment...
This will be like 2 months.
It will be, but understand that
Happy birthday.
She's 16 now. By the time you lot watch this, she's 16. So she's turning 16, and if I speak to my daughter with a certain tone, she'll cry. And that stems from me telling her to suck it up. You understand? So I recognize that wasn't the best way and most beneficial way, but it was what I felt was right and needed, and how I knew at the time. For me, almost crying was weakness. For me, crying was a sign of like, you trying to manipulate me.
See, I actually think children are manipulated from birth.
Oh no, they are.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't mean that you shouldn't allow them to show and share their emotions.
Absolutely not.
So don't get twisted. There was times that it was that, but I still should have allowed her
to express
that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's also created a beautiful bond between us because my intention wasn't to stop her from crying. Like, stop your crying, you idiot. It wasn't that kind of energy. It was more like
stronger.
It was more like, suck it up. Whatever the issue is, you can talk to me. But I ain't gonna come. We're not coming with these tears and this crying thing. You don't get the opportunity to do that when nothing's happened.
I'm really happy you changed that.
Yeah, no, I changed that. But don't get twisted. That was only when something had happened.
Yeah.
So, for example, she done something wrong and then you wanna cry.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
But that's my point. But so suck it up. I still feel had a place and a space,
but not a broad blanket.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like that, if anything, was the biggest test. She tested me in letting me know how to be a better father for her.
That's good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I think I learned that.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I still struggle with that, but I'm better.
I like that. Let me go into another question. What role do you believe open and effective communication plays in building a healthy relationship with your daughter?
It's a key part. My daughter will tell me anything, even if there are some things she may not choose to tell me. Like just yesterday, I had a conversation with her and we were watching a program. And the daughter had done some shoplifting. And she called the stepdad.
Right.
Not her dad. It's called Manifest. So if you lot are watching it, it's called Manifest. And basically there's a lot going on. These people were on a plane and they disappear for 5 years, but they come back.
I've seen this.
Right.
Yeah.
And for them, it was only
a
flight.
Like, yeah.
But everyone else had moved on in life, right? So the daughter of this father who was on this flight, something's happened, and during the time that they was away for 5 years, remember, the mum had met someone else, but now he's back. So now they're trying to make their relationship work.
Right.
But there's still this man that she fell for, and he fell for her. And the daughter had a relationship with this man because it's been so long. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
They thought their dad and their son and brother was dead.
Yes.
And it's her twin brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm giving away a lot of the Manifest story. But
that's a good story.
I must have turned to my daughter and said, because she called her mum, but she also called the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend or whatever. And I said to my daughter, obviously there's no man in the picture, from what I know. You know what I mean? But and there's no woman in the picture, from what I know, on my side, right? So
I'd hope you would know.
Well, some of them just love me, and them just cheers after me. Some believe they're with me when Ross. I know the story that I was told. But anyway, I digress.
Bring it back.
It's just jokes. So I asked my daughter, who would you call?
Yeah.
She thought about it for a second. She go, you. And I was like, why? And we never got into it, but because something happened and we carried on watching the program. But me and her mother got talking today about it. And I was like, why do you think she said me? And she goes, because I think with you, she knows that although you'll be disappointed, you're going to come and just have an open communication with her. With me, I may turn around and say, yeah, let her stay there for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a real open relationship with my daughter, open communication type relationship with my daughter. The communication is very, very open. Yeah. I like for my daughter to be able to know that she can speak to me about anything, even if she's uncomfortable. And that which she's not comfortable speaking to me about, I always want her to know that she can speak to somebody, even if that's not me, but know that the door is always open for her to come and speak to me. So I think it's very important because it changes the dynamic. We never grew up like that. There were certain
Children
things.
were seen and not heard.
That was the premises.
That's it.
Seen and not heard.
Yeah.
I grew up, my mum telling me what to do, and I did what she told me to do.
Yeah.
Period.
Because there was consequences.
Right, and that still stands in my house. That still stands in my house. The difference is that I don't make it a punishment.
Yeah.
I make it a consequence.
Learning.
It's a consequence for your action. What do you think should happen now that you did that action?
Okay.
What are you looking at me for? What you did that. What do you think should happen? I shouldn't be allowed that for a while. I shouldn't play computer. Cool. I'm not punishing you. it's a consequence of your actions. So I brought up my daughter in particular because obviously it was just her for the first, 4 years, right? I brought up my daughter very much. We watched Super Nanny together. Do you know what I mean? We did things, and she would turn to me and be like, Daddy, she's naughty, or he's naughty. She would know what that was. And for me, I would always bring her up, letting her know that I love her, and that never changes. So even if I don't like your behavior, the love never ever goes anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So you've always got a safe space, no matter what, to speak to your dad and communicate. And if I can't speak to you in that moment because I'm too caught up in my emotions, my anger in this moment, I'm going to go take a step, and you can go talk to somebody else, be that your mom, your grandmothers, or your aunties, your uncle, whatever that is. But at some point, we'll come back and talk, right? But right now, what you did is contributing to affecting me in a way whereby anyway, I might just tear.
Yeah, we'll just stop it right there.
Yeah, where my mum would have said, you're getting beaten.
Yeah.
I don't beat my kids.
Neither do I.
You understand?
But I wouldn't even have got told I was going to get beaten. The beating
it just happened. I get told, I know I'm going to get beaten because you told me to go get the belt. Oh. So I knew I was getting beaten because you weren't telling me to get a belt for you to wear. You weren't going nowhere. You was in the 90. The 90 is baggy. You don't need a belt. You understand?
Different times.
Yeah, so to answer the question, what you said is like that communication is very, very important because I always make sure that my kids have a safe space to communicate with me, even if that's a difficult conversation. It might be difficult, but the answer is the answer.
Yeah.
And the answer is there must always be a safe space for you and your kids to communicate.
Absolutely. I would definitely agree. In terms of your role as a father to your daughter, what would you say like your primarily is your key responsibility?
Provide and protect, but I'm also there to care and nurture. But I am the living, breathing, leading example of her first love from the divine masculine. You understand?
Yeah, just.
Yeah, like you want me to get into more detail about that. So, as a dad, I'm the first example of love. So we're all love. Everything that is what it is stems from love. But love itself isn't enough. Love is just the core foundation of life. Whether you're religious or not, love is God, love is the universe. Love is in everything. Love is the core foundation of everything and anything that we do and are and be and whatever. But effort needs to be made. So for me, I know that I'm the first example of masculine, divine masculine love.
So you understand how critical your role is?
100,000%, because my daughter will never know what that love feels like from the man, from the divine masculine, unless she has a beautiful relationship with her father.
Okay, so before I ask you the next question, I just put my glasses
on.
We're
getting posh.
Yes, we are getting posh.
Oh, sorry. I never knew it was a posh interview.
It's not your regular, you know.
Yes, well indeed.
This is honestly speaking.
And you're speaking very properly right now. Speaky smoky. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it's a upper class Jamaicans.
Yes. Yes. You know, Uptown Kingston.
Kingston. Yes, my love.
Yes. So, Dwayne, what do you do to strike a balance between being a protective father, but also allowing your daughter the space to develop, grow, and, you know, grow into a young lady?
Oh, that's a really good question, you know.
That's why I put the glasses on.
All right, I see now. Yeah, because you got to get a little serious with this one.
Yes.
You use the word balance, and that really is the key. It's about finding that balance, but I've got to be honest with myself. So when I find something difficult, I always turn to finding that balance. So I have to be like, right, what my daughter's about to say to me, or whatever the situation is, it requires me to go to that balanced version of myself. Yeah.
Right.
So I have to know, listen, no matter what, I'm always going to be the provider, the protector, with a hint of nurturing and caring in there, right? It's always going to be a part of my construct. Yeah, it's going to be a trait that I'm going to turn to. But I'm also the disciplinarian.
Oh.
Yeah, as in, because that's the role of the father. Yeah, like, you know, it's our job, it's our role to say, no, we're not eating the apple. You understand? I'm not eating the apple, although she did get man to eat the apple. It's our job not to eat the apple. We're meant to say no. So,
are we speaking about Eve here?
We're speaking about Eve, but I'm speaking about the male and female dynamic. In order for me to find that balance, I have to really navigate who I am as a man, as a father, as a brother, as, like, you know what I mean? All those dynamics I have to really kind of get in touch with, and I have to remember myself as a child. So when I'm dealing with my daughter, I do my best to ensure that I don't forget myself as a child.
Right.
I don't forget what I was like in that moment. So although she needs me to show up as her father, as the disciplinarian, as the provider, the protector, the voice of reason, I also need her to see me as a person. Do you know what I mean? So that balance is about me saying, right, yes, you can't have the apple because the apple is not for you to eat, but I'm gonna tell you why.
The wife of the want.
You understand?
Of the want.
You know, so you can talk to me. There is a time and a place. I'm never, you know, I grew up, and I'm sure you understand the same thing. I grew up where, although I had a voice with my mum, yeah, she never silenced my voice, but my voice was never to be used against her or to be in a disagreement with
everybody outside, don't challenge me.
Don't ever. So my voice, my mum would always say, but son, I always gave you a voice. And I was like, yes, you did, mum. However, that voice was never to challenge you. So as long as that voice was in agreement or did what it was told, then the voice was allowed to be seen and maybe heard.
I hear you. I feel
Other than that, it was seen and not heard. I'm not bringing up my daughter in particular, none of my children, but my daughter in particular. I'm not bringing up my kids on that same kind of remit. They are to be seen and heard, but there is a time and a place. And the reason why there's a time and a place, that's my job to teach you. I'm giving you the tools to use as a benefit in the most beneficial way, right? I'm giving you those tools. In fact, you already have those tools. I'm helping you sharpen those tools. I'm helping you know how to use those tools correctly. So if you've got a hammer, I'm helping you use the hammer to hammer in a nail. Don't get the back of the screwdriver to hammer in a nail. It can be done, but use the correct tools for the right job. So my job as a father is to find that balance so I can teach my daughter how to use her tools correctly. Do you understand?
I hear you.
Yeah, so that, for me, balance is about that. Balance is about me teaching her how to not only find her tools, but use those tools correctly in the correct way for the correct job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Balance is key. Balance. It doesn't have to be 50-50 as well. No.
As long as it's not tipping all the way over.
Even if it's tipping, then you've got to understand that you've got to find the right people in your tribe to help you tip that back.
And I think as parents, generally, we start from 100%, like us having like the responsibility, accountability, and, you know, everything to nurture our kids. And I think as they grow older, our role is to kind of relinquish some of that so that the balance is shifted.
Not relinquish some of that.
No, I mean
relinquish all of it.
Yeah, but not immediately.
Well, the thing is,
it's gradual, isn't it?
No, you are right, but I find this is the difference between the mother and the father. You see, the mother and the father will be very gradual and very strategic about how gradual that is. The father will be gradual, but there's no strategy in terms of, there is a strategy, but the thing is, the father energy is, sorry, I'll go back. The mother energy, if your child falls over, the mother energy will say, all right, baby, don't worry, it's start to talk. The father energy will say, why you keep falling?
But I think it changes. Like when I think about myself as a mum, I tend to, initially when they first used to fall over, my immediate reaction is, let me help you. But as you get older, at 7 and 8, I don't expect you to be falling over.
But that's, do you see what I'm saying? 7 and 8. The father is from 1.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's a gradual progression for the mother.
Yeah.
But that's meant to be the difference in our roles. Your role, your tools are to be used correctly. And I need to utilize that. That doesn't mean that I can't learn from that and you can't learn from mine, but I can't be yours and you can't be mine.
Yeah.
We have to respect each other's roles so then the children can see what that looks like. They've got living, breathing, leading example of what that balance actually looks like. My role as a father is to be like, I tend to be a little bit more nurturing because I understand, especially with girls, that you gotta be different with the boys and blah, blah, blah. So I may be like, all right, babes, you're all right. It's cool, but I saw how you fell. So the next time you fall, I'm gonna hold you responsible and accountable though. The first time I might be like, all right, babes, all right. Yeah, especially if you're young. But that second time, you do it the exact same time that you did it before, I'm holding you responsible and accountable. I'm be like, all right, I'm still gonna be nice about it, but I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, you've got to start looking around. Because you fell on the same thing in the same way you did the last time.
What did you learn?
Nothing. So my thing is, and that is the difference between the mother energy and the father energy. And as long as you can, I would say, grab and gravitate towards balance, using that in the most balanced and beneficial way, I think your children will learn. And they will develop those skills. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. It's about helping them develop those skills, harness those skills. That's how they learn how to gain a conscience. That's how they learn how to be a better person. Like, sometimes they got to go through it. I would say I'd rather not put my hand in the fire to learn to know that the fire burns, but some people do.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people. I like to personally be burnt before.
Right, so if someone says, so even if you saw someone get burnt,
I mean, it depends on like the scenarios personally, but
Right.
my learning type is like by doing
I have to go through
what
it.
I need to do. Yeah.
Understood.
What are some of the challenges that you faced while nurturing your daughter?
Challenges.
Challenges.
Do you know what? I'm gonna be honest, yeah? When it comes to my daughter in particular, she hasn't really been that big of an issue for me. I have to be real. I know that definitely stems from myself and her mother being the leading example of what, do you know what I mean? Life is. Like, we do our best to listen, to learn, to change, grow and evolve. So we do our best to really, like, what's the issue? Talk to me about that issue, and then we'll find a solution. So anything that's an issue, we don't focus on the issue. We focus on the solution. We focus on what can we do in order to be of benefit? What can we do in order to sort out this situation? One of the biggest challenges we ever went through was colic, but she was a baby.
Yeah.
That's not her fault.
No.
But it was a challenging time. You asked me what was a challenging time. That was very challenging. But for me, I personally think that every opportunity with my daughter has been like an opportunity to listen, learn, change, grow and evolve. It's a living learning experience. Do you understand? So the challenges to me they are challenging, but I don't take the challenges personally. I deal with those challenges accordingly. Right. So what do I need? Who do I need to be in this moment in order to deal with this challenge?
Right.
And I access that. I go into myself and I access what that means as a man, as a father, and I do what needs to be done. So there hasn't been anything specifically challenging, but anything that is challenging, I do what needs to be done in order to deal with that situation.
So along your journey as a father, have you sought advice, expertise? Do you have like a community? I know you're 1/3 of Dads Are Us.
Yeah.
Have you sought any advice or support to aid your development as a father?
I learn more from the experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a tribe of epic men in my life, fellow fathers, Dads Are Us, as you mentioned. My boys that I grew up with, Digos, Hammy, Jerome, like Joe, Shay. Do you know what I mean? There's so many people that I can mention, and if I didn't mention your name, don't take that.
It's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's just that I've got loads of people that I can actually talk to about things when it comes to being a father, and whether we're talking deliberately about something, we're constantly talking. Does that make sense? So we're constantly having conversations with one another, even if that's not verbally. We're constantly communicating through actions, through, you know what I mean, speaking. But we're constantly like communicating with one another about things because someone's going through something. So I've got to be, like we just mentioned in terms of putting your hand in the fire, I've got to be able to see that. I'm there to support my boy. So when he's going through something, am I going to go and do the exact same thing he did?
No.
Or am I going to learn from what he's gone through and learn to do things and navigate differently to ensure that I don't have to go through it in the same way?
Yeah.
So I've got a really good set of men in my life that are real examples of how to handle the hardships of fatherhood, and how to handle the ease of fatherhood. So yeah, I do have a good set of people and a good tribe, but ultimately, I'm my biggest advocate. I'm my biggest learning tribesman. Do you know what I mean? I know that it starts and stems from me. I'm the core foundation of the change I want to see in this world, and the man I want to be and the father that I want to represent. I know that starts and stems from me, but my contributing tribe is strong. Do you know what I mean? And I'm grateful for that, because they're there and I learn a lot from them. Do you know what I mean?
Good.
And I know they learn a lot from me too, because, you know, they're both.
So another thing, just on the back of that, how do you remain as a positive influence in your daughter's life throughout the different stages? So as she transitions from being a toddler to a infant to a junior to a teenager, borderline
now. Teenager.
Adult.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. You think I'd have an issue in it. You think it might trigger me. It doesn't, because I feel like it's part of life that my children have to grow. They have to get older. So I don't fear the inevitable. I don't fear evolution. I don't fear change. I don't fear growth. Do you know what I mean? I don't fear lessons. So to answer your question, I'm gonna take it back from where it started for me. When Cassie told me she was pregnant. Cassie is the mother of my children. Yeah.
Shout out Cassie.
Shout out Cassie, you don't know. When she told me she was pregnant, I remember saying to myself, yeah, right, I have to make it. I've got to make it in my career, like with my singing, my hosting, whatever it is that I'm doing, my acting. I've got to make it. I've got to get to Hollywood. I've got to, you know what that make it is in our mind? I've got to make it. And in the exact same breath, Kitty, I swear to God, right? I said, I can't do this for this child, which we didn't know was a girl, but I always had this feeling I was going to be given a girl. I knew we was going to have a girl. I knew God was like, you love women and you like to talk to them and you like to understand them, so have one. Force. Go on. What are you going to do? So I just knew God was going to bless me with a daughter first. Yeah, not that we were planning to have more, but I knew that I was having this was going to be my daughter. Yeah. And I remember just in that very same moment, I was like, I can't make it for her. I can't make it for this child. I can't do what I'm doing. I can't think like this. And I was like, I've got to make it for me first. I've got to be the leading example of the change I want to see. And I need to be the leading example of what it is that I'm teaching her. So if I'm making it, I don't want her to have to make it for someone else and her kids when she's in that position. I want her to want to do this for herself. I want her to feed herself so she's in a better position to be of service to anyone else that she loves and cares for, so she can feed everybody else once she's eaten. Yeah? And I remember thinking, right. And that was when my slogans came to me.
Me first, not me only.
Selfish for
selfless reasons.
Right. And it was then it came to me. Yeah, so this is 16 years ago. It came to me and I was like, this is powerful. And genuinely, you know when people say a wave comes over them and all these things, I know it sounds a little cliche and a little kumbaya and all them things there, but I promise you, in that moment, something came over me and I knew I was onto something.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like when you're buying a new car or you're looking for something, you start to see it everywhere. I started to see that message everywhere. And then I saw it with Will Smith talking about the plane analogy. And if those of you that don't know the plane analogy, and that's when it came to me as well, because I actually was touring on something and I got on a plane, and when the safety procedure comes and they say in case of an emergency, no, when the mask comes down, ensure you put your mask on first before helping anyone else with them and theirs. And I was like, what? And I remember being sat on this plane thinking, didn't Will Smith just talk about the same? Or afterwards I saw that with Will Smith and I was like, it was after that. It was after I came up with my own analogy. I was on the plane and I saw this. I was like, that makes sense. That's kind of like selfish for selfless reasons. I was like, it just makes sense. This is in the eye of danger, of death. And it's telling you. The safety procedure is telling you. God, the universe is telling you.
You first.
You first. Make sure you're you're able to look after you first. Look after you first, so you're in a position to help anyone else that you love and care for. And I was like, this just makes sense. And then I started seeing more things, and I was like, right, I need to fill up my cup and never give from my cup. I can only give from my overflow.
And I was in my head as you were speaking, I was thinking about that one as well, about not giving from your cup.
Never give from your cup. My children do not give from my cup. And it was where it comes back to the question. So how did that, like, the question you asked, I can't remember the question in its entirety, but it was to do with my daughter. I knew that I had to look after me first in order to teach her to do the exact same. So I knew, you ask my kids, I say to them, who comes first in your life? And when I used to ask them when they were younger, they used to battle between saying me or their mum, right? And I would always stop them, and we would stop them and I'd say, no, you don't have to think about this hard. The answer is always you. You come first. You are your first and most important priority. That way you're in a better and more beneficial position to help yourself and others you love and care for. And that's something that is like, that just goes through our household. Do you know what I mean? And that's something I've taught my daughter in particular, that she comes first. Do you know what I mean? Fill up your cup. Never give from your cup. Only give from your overflow. Not even your dad, not your mum. Do you know what I mean? Now, if you ask me, I just don't believe in living by or leading with sacrificial love. But if you ask me if I'm willing to sacrifice myself for my children, of course.
Yeah, immediately.
Do you know what I mean? But that's when life calls for it. Life in general doesn't call for us to move in this sacrificial love way. And most of us move in this sacrificial loving way. And I'm just not about it. Like, I gotta make sure I do this for my kids. So when you wake up in the morning, you're doing everything for your children and you're lost. You're teaching your kids that they come last. How you treat yourself is how you treat God, how you treat the universe. So if you're putting you last, you're putting God and the universe last. In your life. Because you're the representation of God in your life.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a lot. And I use those slogans all the time. So if you see hashtags, me first, me only, know that they come from Dwayne. Dwayne knows his worth.
Aye.
Yeah, so I think lastly, I'd like to ask you, like, for fathers that are probably struggling to build relationships with their daughters, what 3 things would you advise them to do, or be able to do to ensure that they foster those good relationships with their daughter?
You're asking some serious questions, man. That's making me have to really think. And you're saying 3 things as well. 3 things.
Because 3 is the magic number.
I know it's the magic number. I know. I would listen. Everything starts with and from self. So I would say number 1 is to really get an understanding of who you are as a man and a father. Truly take time to, what I say, pause, stop, and breathe. Yeah? Like, first and foremost, take that moment to pause, stop, and breathe, and know exactly who you are and what you bring to the table, your table. Like, who are you as a man and a father? Figure that out, and then stay and remain open to listen, learn, change, grow, and evolve. Yeah? By that, I mean, I'm talking to the man them now. Don't be just focused on what the mother of your children, and as some of us would say, we're in a certain state, the baby mother is doing. Forget all of that. It don't matter what she's doing. It don't matter how she's behaving. It don't matter. And when I say it don't matter, I just mean it is all contributing factors. What matters is how you deal with how she shows up. Yeah? What matters is how you deal with how you show up. Do you know what I mean? That is what's most important. So number 1 is pause, stop, and breathe, and take a moment to look at yourself and what you bring to the table. Number 2 is stay and remain open to listen, learn, change, grow, and evolve. Yeah? And I would say number 3, even though you can change this around as well, but number 3, I would say always focus, feed, and lead with and from love and respect. For yourself first, not yourself only. Yeah? If you can do that, I guarantee you that you will see. My thing is, you have to move in your divine masculine. As a man, as a father, you have to move in your divine masculine. When you move in your divine masculine, you will move women and everyone in your life in a way that you have never, ever seen in your life. And the same for women moving in their divine feminine. Yeah? When you move in your divine masculine, you lean into those other traits. You lean into, do you know what I mean, your alpha male, but you don't lead with your alpha male. Your alpha male is something you lean into. Your divine masculine is something you lead with and from. So I would say for all men, I know again it sounds very kumbaya and do you know what I mean, all them things, but I would say genuinely, you have to lead with knowing who you are in your divine masculine, and that is who you are at your core foundation, and you can't let no one or nothing shake that. No woman, no child, no cat, no dog. You can't let no one change who you are at your core foundation. So when you're tested and when you're triggered, you have to stay and remain in your core foundation, in your divine masculine. And when you stay and remain in your divine masculine, you will move mountains.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. It's been very informative today. We've covered so many things, and I do want to get you back on Honestly Speaking.
I'm coming back.
And
I've
bring
got
the man
bare things
them.
to talk about.
I think you need your own show personally.
Don't gas me, but you're right,
I
I
just
do.
think you
I'm
need
bringing
your
the
own
man them
show.
next time, but I'm just saying. I'm a winner, bruv.
I think we should just have Dwayne Knows.
Home run hitter. That's what they call me. Home run hitter. Out the park, bro. Hey.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming down today.
Thank
But
you for
where
having
can
me.
people find you?
Wow, you're going there. I never do those ones.
can we
I never do
find
socials.
you?
I mean, you can find me in Brixton, sometimes in Croydon. No. Online, you can find me on Instagram, which Instagram and TikTok is Dwayne Knows He's Worthy. So that's Dwayne Knows as in no starting with a K, knows he's worthy. Dwayne Knows He's Worthy. Official, Dwayne Knows He's Worthy, official on Instagram, and Dwayne Knows He's Worthy on its own on TikTok. And on Facebook, it's just Dwayne Nosworthy, because my name is Dwayne Nosworthy, so I play on words with Dwayne Knows He's Worthy, yeah? And yeah, I don't do Snap and all of them things there, so other than that, just hit me up, man, DM me, man, find me. I'm about.
You can also find Dwayne on Dads Are Us.
Oh yeah, there's them ones there as well. Listen, I'm that guy.
Yeah, I just thought I'm gonna shout it out for him. So you can find Dwayne on
That's
Dads
a
Are
Russ is my thing, you know.
And how I met Dwayne is as a dancer. So he does a lot of dancing competitions. You chair and you host as well.
Yeah, I do. Look, she's saying everything, innit? It's like she's giving me the opportunity to say everything I do. I'm also like I'm known as I call myself an all-round entertainer, motivational sharer. So I'm also a coach. So anybody, if you're looking for a little coach, come see me. I do that thing. I can coach. I can help you with your life. But I am an all-round entertainer. So I sing, dance, choreograph, host, act, and everything entertainment. I am not talking about the nastiness. Don't try it.
No, because this is a wholesome
Yes.
show.
Yes.
And we don't do such things.
No.
So
But yeah. Look for me. Sorry, I should give all the information. Dads Are Us, all-round entertainer, motivational sharer. I love him.
there you go, Dwayne. Thank you so much. Separately, you inspire me so much, and I don't think you understand the impact that you have. There's been times that you've just randomly reached out to me, sent me a voice note like, Kitty, you good?
I love
And I'm
that.
like, no, not really. Now that you're asking,
Them ones.
So I do appreciate you. I really
Love
do. You motivate me, you inspire me.
Wow.
And I just want you to know that you're valued.
Oh, I love that. I feel that from you. And
For no overstand it.
No, I understand, understand, and overstand.
Good.
And I appreciate it.
The
I'm grateful.
trilogy.
Thank you very much. Serious.
Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know what our next episode will be, but yeah, keep tuned in. This is Honestly Trina on Honestly Speaking. See you soon. You're gonna kill me.
Go on.
I didn't have my glasses on.
That was bad.
I'm so sorry.